Welcome to your energizing flow. If we've not practiced before, my name is Kira, and it's a pleasure to practice with you today. I'll ask you to arrive in a place of rest. So maybe today that's seated, maybe it's down on your back, and I'll be heading onto my back now. So allowing your spine to come long onto the mat. Allow your arms maybe to drop out wide if that feels good. Allow your feet to drop out wide and just falling into a space that feels comfortable and accessible for you. Maybe inviting your eyes to close if that feels good. And just start to notice your breath. So steady inhales, steady exhales. Notice the natural flow and rhythm of the inhale and the exhale. And just allow yourself to land here. Maybe if you haven't already, inviting your eyes to close. And just allowing for a moment in the present. And just checking in here, seeing where your breath is sitting today. And just taking note of this. Maybe the breath is sitting low and into the belly. Maybe it's sitting a little bit higher into the chest. Maybe the breath is sitting high, high, high into the throat. And don't try and change your inhales or your exhales. Just notice where you're sitting. Notice where the breath feels the most active, the most slow. And just allow yourself to arrive here. And see if you can take this moment to deepen the breath. So big, steady inhale through the nose. And see if you can let the breath out through the teeth, through the mouth. So big inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. Two more like that. Big inhale through the nose. And exhale. Lovely. One more time. Big inhale through the nose. And exhale. Beautiful. Coming back to that space of rest, allowing for the space to release between the eyebrows. See if you can release the space between the jaw. And take this moment in time, breathing in an intention for today's practice. Maybe the intention is to breathe a little bit deeper or stay a little bit longer. And taking a moment to pause here before we move about our practice. And when you are ready, coming back to your breath. So big inhale through the nose. And sigh out that breath. Beautiful. Starting to wake up the body, wiggling fingers, wiggling toes, bringing a little bit of life back to your physical shell. And then taking this moment to hug the right knee in towards the chest. Allow the right knee to hug in towards the chest. Maybe both hands grip on to the right knee. Allow for a little squeeze in through the abdominals. Allow the left leg to hang nice and long. And then start to find circles with that right knee. Take it out nice and wide. Allowing that knee to come out a little bit wider than hip distance. And then back through the midline of the body. And as you start to circle that knee, just check in with the hips. Notice how hips are doing, how hips are feeling. Moving that joint around in the hip socket. And start to check in with those hip bones. Are hips moving and swaying? And if they are, can we think about maybe taking range of motion a little bit smaller within that circle, keeping hips nice and grounded on the mat, thinking about breath, belly button to spine. And then taking circles in the opposite direction, controlling that circle. Allow yourself to arrive back in the opposite direction. And then as we come back through the center line, allow that knee to land back into that abdominal squeeze. Take left hand, grip it on top of right, bring right knee across the body, drop it over to the left. Little gentle twist without allowing shoulders to peel off the mat. And think about shoulders hanging really heavy. Arms can open out cactus or T if that feels good. And just allow yourself to ground a little bit further. Think about that breath breathing in through the back of the rib cage. Awesome, and then coming back through center when you're ready. Allow right leg to drop down and then hug the left knee in towards the chest. Left knee comes in towards the chest. We get a little squeeze of that leg. We start to find that circle whenever we're ready. And maybe you use both hands to navigate it, little tiny quarter-sized circles. Maybe your left hand stays on top of the left knee and you find that circle using the right hand to ground through the right hip. And just notice how you're feeling. Just a nice pace of breath, steady inhales, steady exhales. Maybe you start to think about a 360-degree breath, really filling up the ribs from all directions. And then taking that circle back through the opposite side. And notice how hips are doing here, how the hips are feeling. Maybe one side feels a little bit different. I know for me, my left side always feels a little bit more tight than my right. And then as you come back through center, squeeze that knee in. Take the left knee with the right hand across the body. Drop it off towards the right side. Maybe you offer cactus or T for your arms. Allowing for breath. Big inhale here, fill it up. And exhale, release. Lovely, coming back through center. Allow left leg to hug in, allow right knee to hug in. Take a second, maybe you take the knees a little bit wider, get a little bit more length through your lower back. And then from here, hands can come to the backs of the knees, or maybe they start to reach for outer edges of the feet. You decide. We're at the beginning of today's practice, so see how the backs of the legs are feeling, your hamstrings are feeling, and drive those heels for the ceiling. Start to find that rock and sway from side to side. Awesome. And then if eyes are still closed, allow the eyes to flutter open. Allow the knees to come back into the chest. Squeeze the inner thighs, point the toes. Hands can come back and behind the knees if they're not already there. And then allow yourself to tuck your chin in. Find an inhale, send your gaze to your knees. Lift through head, neck, and chest. Arriving here, find your breath. Big inhale. And then exhale, we lower down. Beautiful, 2 more like that. Big inhale, tuck the chin in, little curl of the back of the neck. And exhale, lower. Beautiful, 1 more time. Big inhale, tuck it in, lift. Hold here in the ball, start to feel a little bit of heat building through the core. And then as we arrive here, we start to find a little bit of momentum. Maybe a little bit of rock and sway. Arriving here, we can float all the way up to seated and allow your legs to land on the mat. As we arrive here in crossed legs, let's stack the spine nice and tall. Palms can open up. Maybe they face the ceiling, or wherever they face, maybe they head down. And just allow yourself to land here. Beautiful, 3 big breaths together. Big inhale through the nose. And exhale. Beautiful, big inhale through the nose. And exhale. Last time, big inhale through the nose. And exhale. Lovely, finding a big energizing lift up and overhead. And then start to find a twist. Send left hand to the right knee. Send the opposite hand back and behind you and take that twist towards the back of the mat. So twisting from the upper rib cage, allow gaze to come over the back shoulder. Allow for your breath here. Maybe you hook the hand on your knee if that feels good. Get a little bit of added stretch. And every time we find that exhale, see if you can twist a little further. Sitting up nice and tall, tenting through those back fingers. Beautiful. And then on the inhale, hovering back fingers. Allowing the hand to come up to shoulder height, so right arm is reaching. And then take that right arm up and overhead. Allow the gaze to follow that right arm and drop it off to the left side of the mat. Notice that you're finding a little bit of side stretch. So right hip's gonna try and peel with that right arm. See if you can keep right hip grounded on the mat. Allow yourself to land. Find your breath. Beautiful. And then walking that hand forward, allow left hand to meet right. Find that nice easy fold. Maybe you tuck the chin in. See how the back of the neck is feeling. And then allow the hands to come in. Allow the spine to grow 1 vertebrae at a time. Allow arms to come up last. Big inhale, reach up. And then exhale, we switch sides, allowing for that twist to the opposite direction. Allow those back fingertips to tense and the gaze, find that twist between the ribs. Allow for breath. Big inhale. And exhale. Big inhale here. On the exhale, see if you can twist a little further. Beautiful. Coming up high on those back fingers, lift the left arm, reach it long back and behind you, shoulder height. Find that reach up and overhead. Big inhale, reaching for the right hand side of the mat. Allow fingertips to stay active. Really nice big reach. Allow left hip to stay firmly planted, left bum to stay firmly planted on the ground. Really pushing both sit bones into the mat. Allow yourself to land here. Big stretch through shoulders, through that arm, through the back. And then taking that left arm forward, right hand can come to meet left. Allow for that nice big easy fold. Slow, slow, slow like a sloth. Walk those hands in, chin tucks in, stacking the spine one vertebrae at a time. Big inhale, reach the arms up. Nice energy breath, big inhale. And exhale, nice easy fold. Allow hands to reach lovely and long. Allow chin to tuck in, find rest. Beautiful, stacking the spine one vertebrae at a time. Allow palms to open up wide. Find a nice big gratitude breath. Big inhale here. And exhale. Wishing everyone a wonderful practice this morning or this evening, wherever you are. Meeting in all fours, however you'd like to get there. So allowing for hands to come underneath the shoulders, spreading fingers nice and wide, and allow knees to come underneath the hips. Now, as we arrive here in all fours, maybe you like the idea of tucking the toes under, getting that added toe stretch. Maybe it feels good to keep the toes untucked. Just see what you need and see how your body's feeling. And then as we arrive, we're gonna spread the fingers nice and wide. A little bit of micro bend through the elbows, but we really wanna think about that push force. So pushing the floor away, you'll notice if you allow everything to drop, shoulders will drop down, belly button will start to drop for the mat. So allowing yourself to press the floor away, nice big push, nice micro bend through those elbows. Notice how the shoulders start to support you. From here, I prefer toes tucked under, so you decide what feels good for you. And just starting to find breath here without movement. So big inhale through the nose, plug the belly in, and just allow the belly to drop on the exhale. Beautiful, big inhale through the nose, and exhale. Last time here, big inhale through the nose, and exhale. And notice how the breath sort of does 20% of the work for you. And then starting to move through our cat-cow. So tipping the tailbone for the ceiling, lifting gaze, lifting chest, and then starting to round through the spine, tucking tail, tucking chin, allowing yourself to push that floor away. Beautiful, coming back through center, rounding through that belly, finding that lift of the chest, the lift of the tailbone, and then rounding through the spine. Tuck the chin in, tuck the gaze. Beautiful, 3 more like that. Little round, drop the belly, lifting the gaze, lifting the chest, and then round through that spine. Tuck the chin in. Beautiful. Come back through your center, finding your neutral position. Allow spine to stay long. Now, it's very easy for the gaze to come forward here in the back of the neck to kind of get a little U shape. See if you can keep the nose reaching for the mat. Allow crown of the head or top of the head to reach a little bit longer. And then let's tuck the toes. Let's lift the hips. Let's find our first downward facing dog of the day. Now, as we arrive here, this is where we can really check in. Allow arms to hang really long. Allow head to hang heavy. Notice how the backs of the legs are feeling. Maybe it's a big bend through the knees today if that feels good for you. And just start to find a little bit of pedaling those feet out. Notice how you're doing today, how you're feeling. Your downward facing dog can always be just a little check-in spot. And if downward facing dog doesn't work for you today, you take those knees wide, untuck the toes, send the arms lovely and long. Just find your child's pose. Always available and ready for you when you need it. And downward facing dog is not an easy posture. So allowing your body to tell you what it needs. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, coming up high on the toes, let's bend the knees. Let's look forward. Let's just step to the top of the mat. Allow yourself to walk all the way to the top. And then allow for a forward fold. So take the feet a little bit wider, maybe hip distance or a little wider than hip distance. Allow your head to hang heavy. Allow back of the neck to hang heavy. Maybe you shake the head yes, shake the head no. And then let's honor a halfway lift. So finding hands to shins, allow long spine, crown of the head reaches forward, and then we exhale, fold it down. Beautiful, root the feet. Let's rise up, reach up, big inhale, reach up for the ceiling, stand up tall. And then exhale, we fold. Hands come through heart center. Allow yourself to land. Beautiful. And then finding that halfway lift. Allow hands to come back to the shins. Crown of the head reaches forward. Exhale, we fold. Beautiful. Planting those hands, we're going to step back. Let's find a low plank position to start. So right toe step back and then left toe step back. We land in our foundation of our plank. So hands under those shoulders. We can drop the knees down, untuck the toes. And as we arrive here, start to send the chest a little bit more forward, hips send towards the floor. We get a nice side squeeze of the bum. So if we let the bum go, notice how we have no really control of that pelvic region, that core. So allow the bum to squeeze, allow the belly button to squeeze in towards the spine, send the toes long back and behind you. Allow chest to stay proud, chin to stay proud, and then start to bend at the elbows, flowing all the way down to the ground. As we arrive on the ground, we're going to push the big toes into the mat. Allow legs to hang long and start to activate the back side of the body. Walking the hands a little bit further out from the rib cage, pushing the fingers into the mat, just starting to find a little bit of lift. So inhale, we start to lift the chest forward any amount. And then exhale, we lower down. Beautiful, 2 more like that. As we lift, we think about length through the back of the leg, squeezing backs of the legs, squeezing front of the legs, squeezing bum, and then releasing down. 2 more like that, and start to think about belly button. Maybe there's a flame under the belly button or a hot plate. And as we lift and lower, that belly button stays plugged in and off of the mat. Let's get 1 more like that. Big inhale. And exhale, we lower. Beautiful. Pressing through those hands, allow yourself to send your bum back. Send your knees wide, find your child's pose. Arms come lovely and long. And then start to walk those hands over to the right hand side of the mat. Allow left hand to ground on top of right. Control it there. Find a little bit of grounding through those sit bones, just like we did in that spinal twist with a reach. Beautiful. And then come back through center. Allow yourself to land opposite side. Left hand grounds. Right hand can grip on top of left. Allow bum to hang really, really heavy. Beautiful. Back through center. Let's come through all fours. Let's tuck the toes, lift the hips, finding your downward facing dog. Arriving here and then starting to find a little bit of movement here. So right leg's gonna head up and back. As right leg heads up and back, we can start to hug that right knee in towards the chest. Allow the right knee to come in towards the chest. Feel a little bit of heat through the core. And then land those toes towards the top of the mat. Now, no shame in helping that leg up. And we start to find separate train tracks. We pull belly in off the thigh. And let's drop the back knee off, untuck the back toes. From here, we think about length through that left quad, that left hip flexor. We plug that belly in. We start to reach up and overhead. Big inhale, reach it up. And then exhale, we flow it right back down. 2 more like that. Take an inhale, lift it up. And then exhale, flow it down. Last time, big inhale, we lift it up. And exhale, take it down. Beautiful. Planting both hands down. Allow the belly button to plug in off the thigh. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. And then right foot is forward, so left hand's gonna ground down onto the floor. We can start to open it up. Nice gentle twist. Reaching top arm for the ceiling. Allow yourself to land here for 3, 2, and 1. Drop that hand off towards the floor and then step up to the top of the mat. Allow feet to come together, inner thighs to come together, and honor a halfway lift. Big inhale. Extend through the spine. Let the crown of the head reach forward. Exhale, we fold. We root the feet. We rise up, reach up. Big inhale.
And then exhale, sit down in that chair. Hands reach long. Now today, we think about inner thighs squeezing together. We think about feet squeezing together. We think about that bum squeezing together. Now, if you're feeling like, ooh, maybe this is not for me today, shallow squat. This is all you need. Maybe you can sit it a little bit deeper, but just make sure the chest doesn't fold forward. Chest is stacked on top of those hips. And as we arrive here, just holding steady, allow weight to come into the heels. Maybe you flutter the toes. For 3, for 2, and 1. Folding forward. Beautiful, finding that halfway lift, inhale. And then exhale, fold. Beautiful, root the feet, rise up, reach up. And exhale, fold. Beautiful, land those hands. Step it back, high plank. Now, maybe we go to high plank today for our flow. In all of my flows, I always encourage you to find your version of your flow, whatever that looks like to you. And maybe that means a random Wednesday you skip your flow altogether. But allowing yourself to flow through your chaturanga. Maybe you lift the chest, find any back bend. And then allowing yourself to land back, down dog or child's pose. See what feels good for you. Now for me, a flow is always a check-in point. It's always, how's the body feeling? How am I doing throughout this practice? Maybe there's some times where I skip it altogether. Maybe there's some times where I really go for it and I think about jumping or hopping back into that plank. Arriving back to your downward facing dog. Allow yourself to land here. Big inhale through the nose. And exhale. Beautiful, left leg can head up and back. Awesome. Step that left knee or bring that left knee in towards the chest. Allow the knee to build a little bit of heat and then step the foot to the top of the mat. Beautiful. As we arrive here, we're solid through that back right leg. So heel is driving towards the back. We're up high on the back toes and we're thinking about sort of bringing that left hip slightly back, right hip slightly forward to square off the hips. We're on separate train tracks with those feet and then allow yourself to plug the belly in. Beautiful. From here, nice solid foundation, drop that back knee off, untuck the back toes, and then start to lift up. Big inhale, reach up. And exhale, we fold. 2 more like that. Big inhale, reach up. And exhale, fold. Last one, big inhale, reach on up. And exhale, fold. Beautiful, plant those hands. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. Since left foot is forward, right hand grounds down, we twist in towards the knee. Lift it up, reach the arms up, hold steady. 3, 2, and 1. Drop it off towards the floor. Beautiful, ground through that front foot, step up, top of the mat. Root the feet, big inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, we fold. Root the feet, rise up, reach up, big inhale. And exhale, fold. Beautiful, halfway lift, inhale. And exhale, fold. Lovely, plant those hands, step it back, your version of your flow. Allowing yourself to meet in downward facing dog. So take your time to arrive there. Allow yourself to find your breath. And as we re-land, just take a moment. Take a second to pause. Allow for stillness. Beautiful. Bringing that right leg up and back. And then hugging that right knee in towards the chest. Inhale. Send the exhale, bring it back, reach it back. Lovely, big inhale, hug it forward. Hold there just for a second. Find your breath, find your 3-legged plank. And then taking a moment, dropping it off towards the floor. So knee comes over to the right side, toes come over to the left. And then extend that back leg long towards the back of the mat. As we arrive here, allow the chest to lift, gaze to lift, big inhale. And then exhale, we start to flow it down. You can start to reach the arms forward if that feels good. Maybe crown of the head reaches down towards the mat or forehead comes to hang on the hands. finding your pigeon, allowing yourself to land here in a moment of stillness. Finding your deepest breath of the day. Big inhale through the nose. And exhale. Beautiful. Coming up high onto your hands. Allow your hands to land in the mat. And then from here, roll over onto that right glute. Notice how the back knee starts to bend. A little bit of mobility here. See if you can lift and hover that back knee off the mat. And then start to send the leg forward any amount. Maybe you allow left leg to land long, and then right sole of the foot comes to the inside of the left leg. From here, allow yourself to reach the arms for the ceiling, really flexing through that left foot, and then reaching lovely and long. Allow hands to lift or drop towards the mat. Allow belly button to plug in. Allow right knee to hang out a little bit wider. And really, I don't like to fold down. I don't like to bend through the spine. I think there's something really nice about that hinge from the hips. So sending the spine really nice and tall, almost like you could send your clavicles over your toes. Find your breath here. And if you sit at a desk all day, it might be hard to not find that round. I know for me, sometimes sitting at a desk, I really go there. I want my body to just finding that normal, natural posture, as you want to say. And just allowing yourself to find length through your spine, length through your crown of your head. Beautiful. Starting to stack the spine one vertebrae at a time. Allow the arms to reach for the ceiling. Big inhale. Right arm's gonna come back and behind you. We're gonna push into that right hand, push into that right knee. Start to press through the right knee, lift the hips, reach left arm for the ceiling or back and behind you, little mini wild thing. Allow hips to reach. Maybe you squeeze the bum, but we start to feel a little bit of stretch from the armpit all the way down into the left hip. Allow for a nice big reach. And then landing through those hips, through those toes. Beautiful, reaching the legs, lovely and long. Find a big inhale, arms reach up. And then exhale, we fold. Lovely, in this one we fold any amount. Maybe you flex heels, maybe you need to bend at the knees. See what feels good for your body. And then stacking the spine one vertebrae at a time. Arriving there, swing those legs back around, allowing yourself to press your hands into the mat, tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Beautiful. As we arrive here in our downward facing dog, start to send that left leg up and back. Left leg reaches up and back. We allow ourselves to land there and then hug that left knee in towards the chest. Allow left knee to come in towards the chest, build a little bit of heat through that core, and then reach back and behind you. Beautiful. Big inhale, bring it back through center. Drop left knee off, toes towards the right. Reset up those hands if you need to, and then let that leg reach back and long behind you. As we arrive here, it's very easy just to drop it down, flow it down. See if you can lift the chest, lift the gaze. Take a second. Notice how the feeling in the legs are. Maybe you feel tight through the glutes or tight through the hip flexors, and that's okay. If you need to, you stay up high on the hands. If we can, start to melt it down. Drop forearms first. Maybe you allow forearms to kind of gather as a pillow. You stack the hands, allow head to fall. And taking a breath here, allow yourself to become still. Awesome. Biggest breath of the day. Big inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. Starting to come up high on those hands. Allow yourself to land there, roll over onto that glute. We start to think about bending that back knee slightly, hovering back knee, reaching that foot forward. Ooh, nice little click there. And allow right leg to hang long. Allow left knee to spray out or fall out wide. And then allow that left foot to grip into that right leg. Arms reach for the ceiling, big inhale. And then exhale, we fold. Allow chest to stay proud, chin to stay proud. Almost maybe you could reach your chin or the tip of your nose to your pinky toe. Allow yourself to land there. Find your breath. Steady inhales, steady exhales. Beautiful. Stacking the spine, big inhale. Left arm reaches back and behind us. We start to press into left hand, press into left knee. Hover hips, lift up, reach up, find your breath. Beautiful, lowering it down. Allow hips to land, allow legs to land. Find a big inhale, reach it up. And exhale, we fold. Beautiful, slow and steady, stacking the spine, one vertebrae at a time. We land through the feet on the mat. Arms can start to reach forward. Let's start to tuck the tail. Let's lower all the way down to the mat. Allowing yourself to land there, hugging right knee in towards your chest. Allow right knee to hug in. Allow left leg to come long. See if you can land through those shoulders, land through the spine, land through the hips. And then take that knee across the body, back to where we started. Find that twist one more time. Maybe left arm hooks onto that right knee. Maybe we allow ourselves to twist a little bit deeper, but allow the shoulders to hang a little bit heavier. Start to send breath through the back of your rib cage. Allow yourself to land. And then come back through center. Beautiful, release that right knee out lovely and wide, little supine tree. Maybe you invite your arms up and overhead or cactus. Awesome, and then extend that leg long. Allow left knee to come in towards the chest. Find your breath here. And then find that twist. Take it across the body, drop it off. Maybe right hand grips left knee. Allow for a little bit of opening. Find your breath here. Nice opening through that chest. A little breath in through the back of the ribs. And then take it back through center. Allow left knee to drop out wide. Little supine tree. Maybe arms open up, cactus. Awesome. Allow the legs to come long, arms to come long, finding your final place of rest. And just taking a moment to come back to your breath. Steady inhales and steady exhales. And just taking this moment to show yourself gratitude for arriving on the mat this morning or evening. And allowing your body and mind exactly what it needs. I'll invite you to wiggle fingers, wiggle toes, bring a little bit of life back to your physical shell. If staying in Shavasana is for you, please feel free to stay here. Maybe hugging the knees into the chest and just allowing yourself to come up to seated, however you'd like to get there. And as you arrive in seated, maybe inviting the eyes to close if that feels good. And finding 3 breaths together. Big inhale through the nose. And exhale. Big inhale through the nose. And exhale. Beautiful. Big inhale through the nose last time. And exhale. Thank you so much for allowing me to practice with you wherever you are. I hope you have a wonderful and blessed day.